Welcome to Lifestyle Buzz Today with Orlando. Fresh, innovative, entertaining talk about topics we are all in one way or another involved with. And now, here's your host, Orlando Burgos.
Well, hello, wonderful Earthlings. I hope all is going well with you. Today, I had plans to have a great show, but unfortunately, my guest took ill and didn't let me know until the very end. So we are going to be in the middle of the magic of what it is to have live radio, and this is why I love it. You know what it is? It's the type of thing that now we get to really do free hand type of stuff. You know, it's just Mike and I here. So are you ready for a show, Michael?
Yeah, this is how we do it. This is what we call the free form style radio. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's really a lot of fun. It's just it's time to use the old imagination, the old gray noodle out there, you know. I've been noticing in the last few days, that we are kind of going back in time a little bit. And it seems to me that everything that happens is of political nature. And, you know, I think it's time to put that stuff away and start getting back into the real side of living, because one of the things that happens is that when there's never going to be a meeting of the minds anytime. We are way too polarized, and it's going to hurt us on the long run. So, I mean, I have a friend right now who is on one side so far that I've been thinking about cutting him off from Facebook, because, you know, it's getting to the point where it's insulting people that I know. I mean, it's too strong. So my opinion is that in the long run, we need to really get back to normal. And back to normal is everyday living. Everybody is looking for jobs. Everybody's looking for things to do. It's time to actually get to the side of being happy. What do you think, Michael?
Yeah, I mean, Facebook, it's just the worst, because, you know, it's a place where you can kind of keep track of you know, people that you're not in close contact with. Like will go on there and see pictures of my friends' children, which is always kind of nice, seeing the baby pictures and whatnot. But then you see, you know, someone just put on their wall, you know, ridiculous, you know, really outspoken political claims. And, you know, it just seems like there should be a separate space for that. But yeah, I mean, and we've talked about this before several times, where, you know, when someone's behind their keyboard, they're far, you know, more likely to be confrontational and aggressive than they are actually face to face. And so if people would have the same kind of, you know, golden rule as they do in public, as they do on the internet, I think we'd all be better for it.
You know what? I have had situations where I have been rude, and people have been rude to me on the telephone. You know, this is before Facebook and all of that. And at one point, we actually meet face to face, and it seems to me that the anonymity of the communication device creates this anger to build up and, you know, let it all hang out, when in fact, people to people, we're more civilized and we're more cordial to each other. And I think we need to start doing that a lot more. So with that in mind, let's take a little bit of a break, and we'll be right back.
Let's talk about your credit cards. When you first start using them, it's a slow drip. You make charges, then more charges, then bills come, and they keep coming. When you open your statements, the floodgates come pouring in. You realize you have more credit card debt than you can afford, and you're barely making the minimum payments. Wouldn't it be nice to make one affordable payment and have all your credit card bills covered? Make this free call and learn our responsible way to get your credit card bills paid and under control.
Sponsored by Consumer Education Services, a nonprofit organization.
800-876-3643. 800-876-3643. 800-876-3643. That's 800-876-3643.
CESI is not a loan company. The establishment of a debt management plan may adversely affect your credit rating. Non-payment of debt may lead creditors to increase finance and other charges to undertake collection activity, including liquidation.
All right, we are back again, and we are flying solo here. Well, solo from this side of the mic to that side of the mic. Mike on the other side of the mic. There you go. Our plan was today to have a very bright, very nice lady who happens to be a casting director. And the whole thing was announced as being promoted to be a total delight for those looking for to enter the entertainment business. And, well, it just didn't work out. But anyway, it just so happens that I have been part of the entertainment business now for a while. I am somewhat of an actor. I mean, I've done a few commercials here and there. And I know the job that goes along with being a casting director. I had hoped very strongly to be able to get a little bit deeper into it, because the casting director part has to be one of the most intensive, more mental type of sides of the entertainment business, for the simple reason that they have a short window of time to pick the right person for a job, okay? And I've always wondered what goes into the preparation for, I'm sure that they read a script, but they cannot be the only interpreter of the script. So they have to have meetings, they have to have all kinds of things going on before they can actually get to the point where they know left and right what it is that the producers are looking for in a role. Simply stated is the fact that especially now with the COVID, where we have been doing auditions via Skype or via Zoom, we have probably a 10 to 15 second window to put the point across, to the image that they want. And the funny thing is that you prepare for like 2 days and this, and then before you know it, this guy goes, "Okay, thank you." He's off the screen. Have you ever been involved in anything that has to do with film?
I have not. No, I have not. But living here in Los Angeles, you meet a lot of people in the industries, and I've met somebody. She was an assistant to a casting director, and it was a quite stressful job for this assistant, because, like you said, I mean, there's not only pressure from the producers, but there's a lot of pressure from the actors, and also, if you're a casting director too. Or even like tangentially associated with the casting director, being an assistant or an assistant to the assistant, and anybody finds out, maybe a waiter overhears you at a restaurant, you're gonna get accosted, because the casting director, that's where the metal meets the meat in terms of actors. That's how they connect actors with jobs, and so if you're a casting director or an assistant too, you're gonna get a lot of emails, a lot of texts, a lot of phone calls from anybody that wants to get into the business, and it can be a little bit overwhelming.
Yeah, I mean, like in this particular case, I know for a fact that I have an agent, and I get put up for roles. Probably, I'm at that age bracket where it's not like I'm going to be doing some kind of a action scene or whatever,
Well, you never know.
Well, you never know. Hey, Superman was old too. But anyway, what it is that sometimes where the direction comes from is very vague. They tell you need to look angry. So you go out there and go, yeah. Well, not that type of angry, and so it's very confusing. So you need to really have a wide range to be able to put out, and the great casting directors are the ones who tell you right off the bat, this is more or less what we're looking for, and they give you a couple of shots at it. Takes a little bit longer. I remember that, I don't know, few months ago, my agent sent me this role about a older biker. So, and it says there, you're supposed to be an older biker, and if you have a Harley, it'd be great, but if you don't worry about it, we'll provide the whole thing. So when it came time to my role or to my audition, I had my bandana, I had my shades, I had my leather jacket. I mean, I was total biker. I let my whiskers grow for a couple of days, the whole thing. And so I went on camera. And the guy looks at me and he goes, well, no, we just want an older person that rides a bike. And I'm like, what? Well, yeah, no, can you change? And yeah, well, what do you mean, can you change? I mean, like, you're already in front of a camera. You're already prepared. So that makes it kind of interesting. At the end of the day, though, you look like a fool taking off your shirt and your jacket and all of that. And when you don't hear anything, you go, okay, so they were not impressed, and you more. So
yeah, it's tough. I mean, especially now too, with like you said, doing the auditions and the readings over Zoom and over Skype, because a big part of it too is kind of the rapport that you develop in the room with the casting director, and sometimes the writer and the director or the producer will be in there as well.
Right.
I mean, young Suede, he said when he would go into auditions, like he would really like to try to work the room before he even started reading, handshakes, really warm smile, because, not only are you judging somebody about their performance, but you're judging whether or not, they are going to be good on the set and, get along with everybody and take direction. So.
Oh yeah, no, when you go to a live audition, you do. You go there and, I mean, you need to be sincere with your charm, because people, I mean, they'll know. If you go over there calling everybody sweetheart and, all kinds of...
Yeah, you're selling yourself. Yourself is the product.
Right,
And so like any salesman, you have to do that, definitely.
But you do have to come out sincere. You need to come out... Because it's really funny, because sometimes you go to an audition and right away you see people's voice change. All of a sudden it's like, whoa, hello there, real deep voice. And I'm going like, that's not really who you are. But anyway... that was the reason why I was very interested in having this young lady here, because I wanted to nail her down to what is it that makes for better roles. Now, one thing is for sure is that there's a lot of people out there who call themselves actors, and it's because they know somebody who kind of pushes them inside that door, but they have never trained a day in their life. Now, is not necessarily bad. There's been a lot of great known actors who have never taken a day of training, It's just natural. But those are far and few in between, so... Can you name one that has never been?
I know a lot of New York actors, especially actors that worked on The Sopranos, actually weren't actors to begin with. I believe a couple of them were maitre d's at famous restaurants or hotel managers. Right. But once they started working on the show, they would take lessons. But yeah, I mean, there is examples. I can probably look some up during the break, but that is few and far between, especially out here. Because I mean, if it's on your resume, I said you trained as well. I mean, it's gonna, you have a better chance of getting the job.
Well, you know what? Steve McQueen was one that, at the very beginning of his career, he was just a natural guy doing extra work.
Yeah, but also, I mean, even actors that have had really great careers, they'll still train late in life.
Yep. Why don't we take a little break? We'll be right back.
For the getaway of your dreams, come to Hawaii's Playground, Ka'anapali Beach Resort, on the fun side of Maui, where the world comes to play. Find your spot on Kaanapali Beach with 3 miles of white sand, 12 resort properties, 2 golf courses, and 2 shopping centers. Enjoy the playground of Hawaii's ancient royalty. Kaanapali Beach Resort is Hawaii's original master planned destination resort and home of the Hawaii Food and Wine Festival. With views of 2 neighboring islands, you can breathe in the land's natural beauty from your favorite resort or golf fairway. Come experience Kaanapali's own special brand of Hawaiian hospitality with world-class dining, relaxing resorts, water sports, and activities of every kind. For romantic, family, and great friend getaways, discover the options of Kaanapali Beach Resort, where the world comes to play. Plan your getaway today. Visit KaanapaliResort.com. That's KAANAPALI Resort.com.
Now it's time for Medved's Entertainment Minute.
Johnny Depp and Forest Whitaker co-star in a true story crime drama about the alleged police corruption surrounding the unsolved 1997 murder of the famous rapper Notorious B.I.G. It's called City of Lies, now playing in theaters and available on various streaming platforms.
The unsolved murder of 2 young men. You have any suspects? Who shot Biggie Smalls?
Johnny Depp is terrific as the actual police detective, so obsessed with solving this crime that he continues to pursue it long after he's driven from the LAPD. But Forest Whitaker's character, a largely fictionalized journalist, also drawn into the case, never comes fully into focus, and an inconclusive finale leaves the central mysteries frustratingly unresolved. Plenty of harsh language and brutal, very well-staged action scenes produce an R rating. 2.5 stars for the intriguing and powerfully acted City of Lies.
Fred Dreyer here. Join me at the Ramp Bar and Grill in Burbank, California. Now open with indoor dining. Monday through Thursday, noon to 9, Friday, noon to 10, and Saturday, 4 to 10. Happy hour weekdays from 2 to 7 p.m. It's the home of the $5 margarita, by the way. Start with mouth-watering charbroiled chicken nachos. The best cheesy garlic bread in town, steamed clams and delicious soups and fresh salads. The best burgers in town. And steaks? Oh, you bet. Yum. Ribeye, filet, even prime rib. Italian specialties too. Ravioli, linguine, capellini, pomodoro, chicken parmesan, and a lot more. Save room for desserts too, including homemade cheesecake. It's the Ramp Bar and Grill, 7730 North Hollywood Way, minutes from Burbank Airport. Call 818-768-6499. Takeout and Postmates delivery too. Reserve your tables now. Call 818-768-6499.
All right, we are back, and like we were talking about the fact that there is a huge number of well-known actors and actresses that they just showed up and there they are.
Yeah, I have a list right here, and it's quite surprising. Number 1 on the list, Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise, an exceptional actor, really, especially in his earlier years. Born on the 4th of July is one of the most amazing performances I've ever seen. Jim Carrey, that kind of makes sense because he was a comedian first,
Yeah.
Meg Ryan, adorable, beautiful, was great in a lot of movies. Another beautiful actress, Cameron Diaz. She was a model first. Johnny Depp, considered a really great actor, one of the greats of the generation. He moved out to California to become a musician, but he happened to be really good friends with Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
And so that's how he got hooked up. This one was really surprising to me. Joaquin Phoenix, a tremendous actor, amazing in The Master. Really good as the Joker as well.
He had his brother, the River.
Exactly. He was his brother as well. He was a musician first, too, and then became an actor. This next one, Christian Bale. He was a former child actor in that great Steven Spielberg movie, Empire of the Sun.
Yes, yeah. That's right.
Yeah, and he was kind of just answered an open audition, really with no experience, no training, got the role, and then he was all set after that. Russell Crowe. He Will Punch You. Amazing in Gladiator and amazing in A Beautiful Mind. He had really no connections whatsoever and dropped out of school at 16 and just decided to become an actor without no training. Jennifer Lawrence. She was really just wanted to be an actor and moved to New York City. No training whatsoever and got discovered by a TBS executive. Ben Kingsley. a legend. Gandhi himself. He just one day just walked into the theater and started doing stage work. Never did any formal training. Channing Tatum, of course, he's a big popular star. Charlize Theron, she was exceptional in the Mad Max. And Henry Cavill, he played Superman as well. And Natalie Portman, she was a great actress as well. Matthew McConaughey, all right. Never trained. And Heath Ledger, the late Heath Ledger, who's an amazing actor, especially in The Dark Knight. He skipped school when he was 17 just to pursue acting. He drove to Sydney, Australia with his best friend to seek acting work. His first break was a small TV role, and then gradually he became known as a great actor, never trained formally. So,
you know what is really amazing, because sometimes when you're starting in the business, the first thing that they tell you is, make sure that you know the Meissner method, or, there's about 3 different methods of acting. And there are some people that say, why? The thing is that I think the Shakespearean actor like Orson Welles and all those heavy people that play the classics, now they gone by the wayside for the sake of the people who actually played themselves, the real,
so like actors versus movie stars.
Yeah. I mean, many people have as an idol Steve McQueen, and I had the pleasure of flying in this airplane many times, And the fact is that there is a story where he used to go to a set, never read a script, and he just said, well, you go ahead and start. When I have something to say, I'll jump in there and say it. So most of the time, there's a lot of movies where he plays the very somber, he doesn't do very long dialogues. It's very rare when you actually see something with Steve McQueen that has the long dialogues. And but those are people that had that charisma too, Like the list that you gave me, there's a common denominator there. They were all good looking and young and vivacious, So there's a lot of people out there that really don't pursue the craft as much as they should. They think that the craft should come to them and find them.
It's hard work too. And you just gotta keep plugging away. Like some famous examples of people who were plugging away for years. Like Harrison Ford didn't become famous until he was 38.
Right.
John Hamm of Mad Men fame didn't get that role until he was in his late 30s.
Yeah.
And so these people plug away, and you never know when your big break's gonna come.
Well, that's just it. It is a funny business, and the best thing that I can say, don't get discouraged. Just plug away, because your time will come. You just need to go out there and find it, okay? So we'll be right back.
You order a glass of your favorite Cabernet, fresh asparagus, hollandaise on the side, a filet, medium rare. You unfurl your napkin with a flair, close your eyes, and prepare to listen. Ah, there it is. The sweet music you long to hear. The sizzle. The sizzle of a Ruth's Chris steak.
The most magnificent corn-fed prime beef, broiled to perfection at 1,800 degrees. Some call it a sizzle. We call it an anthem.
As the waiter approaches, you think, is this one mine or that one?
Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. Like Ruth always said, life's too short to eat anywhere else.
Make a reservation online at ruthschris.com or by calling 800-544-0808.
What are you going to do with your old car? You can try selling it, you could junk it, or you could donate it to Heritage for the Blind. Your car will be towed away for free, and your donation is tax deductible. Just call 1-800-785-9618. Heritage for the Blind accepts cars, vans, trucks, and boats. It doesn't matter if your vehicle runs or not. It will be towed away for free, and you'll be supporting those that need help. Heritage for the Blind is a nonprofit organization that helps the visually impaired live fuller lives. Call right now to donate your car, and as a special thank you for calling, you'll receive a free 3-day vacation voucher to many exciting locations. Call Heritage for the Blind right now, 1-800-785-9618. Donating is easy, and your vehicle is towed away for free. Plus, you'll get a free vacation voucher. Call now, 1-800-785-9618. That's 1-800-785-9618.
For the getaway of your dreams, come to Hawaii's Playground, Ka'anapali Beach Resort, on the fun side of Maui, where the world comes to play. Find your spot on Ka'anapali Beach with 3 miles of white sand, 12 resort properties, 2 golf courses, and 2 shopping centers. Enjoy the playground of Hawaii's ancient royalty. Ka'anapali Beach Resort is Hawaii's original master planned destination resort and home of the Hawaii Food and Wine Festival. With views of 2 neighboring islands, you can breathe in the land's natural beauty from your favorite resort or golf fairway. Come experience Ka'anapali's own special brand of Hawaiian hospitality with world-class dining, relaxing resorts, water sports, and activities of every kind. For romantic, family, and great friend getaways, discover the options of Ka'anapali Beach Resort, where the world comes to play. Plan your getaway today. Visit Ka'anapaliResort.com. That's KAANAPALI Resort.com.
Let's talk about your credit cards. When you first start using them, it's a slow drip. You make charges, then more charges, then bills come, and they keep coming. When you open your statements, the floodgates come pouring in. You realize you have more credit card debt than you can afford, and you're barely making the minimum payments. Wouldn't it be nice to make one affordable payment and have all your credit card bills covered? Make this free call and learn our responsible way to get your credit card bills paid and under control.
Sponsored by Consumer Education Services, a nonprofit organization.
800-876-3643. 800-876-3643. 800-876-3643. That's 800-876-3643.
CESI is not a loan company. The establishment of a debt management plan may adversely affect your credit rating. Non-payment of debt may lead creditors to increase finance and other charges to undertake collection activity, including liquidation.
All right, we are back, and we are talking casting. All right. Let me play devil's advocate here. It appears that at present there is a preference for A-listers to do commercials. As a consumer, do you think that they convey the message a lot better?
No, it always weirds me out when I see known actors in commercials, because you see a lot of crossover between TV actors, especially, kind of character TV actors in commercials. Mm-hmm. And it always kind of throws me off the message of the advertisement itself, because I'm like, oh, there's, so-and-so, he was Bobblet and Nip Tuck, and I'm not thinking about the actual product. So it's kind of distracting for me.
Yeah. You know what? I mean, I know what you're talking about, because I'm from the days whenever you saw a recognized face do a commercial, it used to be mainly for cigarettes or whatever,
Yeah, I think that there's a difference between a pitch man and then an actual known actor in a commercial who's playing a role. If it's I know a lot of celebrities, A-list celebrities do a lot of commercials abroad. Mm-hmm. Like if you're ever traveling abroad, I remember one time I was in Tokyo, and had the TV on in the hotel, and next thing I know, there's a commercial with George Clooney selling coffee.
Right.
And I'm like, wow, this is weird.
Well, you know what? I mean, I think he does it because I think he's part of the Nespresso. I think he owns it.
I think he owns a piece of it, yeah.
So anyway, so they do pitch work. But the same token, it used to be that if you saw a recognized face do a commercial for whatever, you would never see Robert Young doing something for Oscar Mayer or something like that, but something swanky. That was a dead giveaway that the career had.
Oh, the jump the shark moment.
Yeah, it just ebbed, and the juicy roles were no longer there, and that was it. So it was almost like a clear signal that whenever you saw a guy that you knew from a movie doing a commercial, you go, oh God, that's it, man. You never see him again in a movie. But here is my question. And you know what? God bless them, because they're making oodles and noodles of money with that, okay? And I guess they have worked hard and they deserve it or whatever. But I think also that they're taking away jobs from future young people. Do you see that?
Yeah, it's kind of like when I remember when Michael Jordan decided to play play baseball. He got a lot of guff from people within baseball itself because they thought he was using his celebrity and his power to get a spot that would normally be for an aspiring minor leaguer.
Right.
And you're right about you talked about Orson Welles earlier, and Orson Welles, I remember late in his career, he was doing commercials for Paul Mawson wine. And, here's Orson Welles, one of the great directors and writers and actors of all time, now late in his career in the late 70s doing wine commercials. And I think that can kind of soil the legacy a little bit.
Yeah, it does. I mean, now my biggest question is this. Let's say Samuel Jackson is doing work with Capital One. And you practice and you practice and you practice. And then you get the chance of coming over and say, Capital One, the best card in the world for you. Don't forget to go leave home without it, or whatever, whatever. And you nail it. Will you get paid the same millions of dollars?
No. And this is why Samuel L. Jackson does it. I mean, it's he comes in, he shoots a commercial. It's probably like 4 hours of work, and he probably gets paid $2.5 million. So
yeah.
I mean,
yeah,
it's a win-win for him.
So well, yeah. But I mean, that has always been something that I wanted to ask somebody, and it's taboo to you don't. Although like you can read about it in all the press papers, people are making this and that and the other, but to actually bring it in a conversation in a setting.
Do you think that's vanity, though, like of the company itself, that Capital One's like, look who we have doing our commercials. We have these big stars doing our commercials. I mean, that doesn't work for me in terms of product persuasion. I mean, I think of that when, one of the best parts about the Super Bowl is the commercials.
Yeah.
And, all the commercials, from year to year that are always lauded as the best commercials of the Super Bowl rarely have, some big star. It's usually about the imagination behind the commercial.
Right.
Something unique. And so I think that's what really, sells products.
Well, you know what? I mean, the people that do marketing, sometimes they misunderstand the real process of what marketing is. They think that it's glitz and it's this and it's that. And it's not. I mean, they people say, well, like, this guy is going to sell our product. No, the people who are in front of a camera or whatever are not there to sell the product per se. They are there to create an interest for the consumer to go out and find out more or how to use the product.
Yeah, one of the most successful advertising campaigns of all time was the Coca-Cola Polar Bear ads. Remember those?
Yeah.
And, and Coca-Cola, I mean, everybody knows what Coca-Cola tastes like. Everybody knows where they can buy Coca-Cola. Everybody knows pretty much how much Coca-Cola costs. And so you don't need to educate the public on the product. But that ad, was so unique, with a kind of unique and different style of animation, great sound too, with the bear on the snow. Mm-hmm. And people are like, that's awesome commercial. Good for you, Coca-Cola. I might try one. And so, it's, I think you're right about the marketing people. Oftentimes I think they're putting too much thought into how to sell the product through persuasion when you just really need to kind of be a little bit more imaginative.
Yeah, I mean, people will buy whatever they think is good for them, and you know what, nobody likes to be sold. Everybody wants something, but they want it to be their own idea. So I think marketing should be a little bit more subtle, a little bit more, targeted. Yes, interesting. Yes, absolutely. Do you remember the Geico commercials at the beginning with this guy who used to do with the big boxcar computer that fell down and all that. Yeah. It's like a gag. He used to be my neighbor, you know, and Pete was doing great stuff. He became really well known, you know, until he wanted to be Geico. He wanted to be it for Geico.
That's the chief spokesman.
Yeah, he wanted, you know. Then I guess Flo came along. That was it, man. All right, so when we come back, we're going to be talking a little bit about travel. And that's it, man. We'll be right back.
Trying to sell your old car? Instead, donate your vehicle to Heritage for the Blind. Pickup is free and your donation is tax deductible. Just call 1-800-785-9618. Heritage for the Blind accepts cars, vans, trucks, and boats, whether they run or not. Call right now and receive a free 3-day vacation voucher to over 50 locations. Call 1-800-785-9618. Donate your car today. That's 1-800-785-9618.
Clay's Cleaning Service has a spotless reputation.
Will you take care of the windows? Hello, this is Clay.
But his business operations could use a light dusting.
Boy, I had you scheduled for next week. I'll just check here. No, absolutely. We will be there tomorrow.
Indeed can help him hire the people he needs.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job, you immediately get your short list of quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job criteria. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
If Ernest Hemingway was alive today, would he say this to you?
Shakespeare, Mark Twain, Edgar Allan Poe, all great writers. And after reading your book, I simply must add you to the list.
Wait, you don't have a book yet. So make a free call to Page Publishing. Their expert staff can help you turn your book idea into a real book, a masterpiece that could someday make the bestseller list in hard copy and digitally all across the world. Page Publishing can help you completely take your idea for a book, write it, and publish it. So if you want to join the ranks of some of the most famous authors in the world, call now for a free information kit. Turn your book idea into publishing gold. Make a free call right now to Page Publishing.
800-378-3212. 800-378-3212. 800-378-3212. That's 800-378-3212.
All right. So that's it, man. We're going to leave the acting business behind us here. And we're going to be talking a little bit about travel. Travel is opening up again. I mean, I actually got great news from a friend of mine who is a tour operator in Morocco. And that's a place where I've been wanting to go for the longest time.
Yeah, my stepdad and my mom went there. They loved it.
You know what?
Spent some time, Tangiers. They said it was fantastic. Excellent food.
Oh, yeah. As a matter of fact, that's one of the things that I wanted to explore is the cuisine and all of that. But you know what? If you look at the advertising description of Morocco, it's funny because it goes, Morocco, a North African country bordering the Atlantic Ocean and Mediterranean Sea, is distinguished by its Berber, Arabian, and European culture influences. Marrakesh, whatever, very, very neat, very neat. But by the same token, you know what? Doesn't the word Morocco just kind of brings out the sound of something exotic, something that you need to go see?
It reminds me of Casablanca. It kind of takes me back to that kind of style.
Yeah. It sounds to me like it's a place where you get lost in the history of the place. The Blue City. You know, I want to, as soon as I have a chance, we're going to have somebody here that is going to tell us what is it behind the Blue City. It's all blue, all painted blue. You know that?
Yeah, I think it was something about like there was a particular commodity that was like a blue, that there's like a mineral there that is blue, and then they use that to construct all of their stuff.
Really?
That's what I've heard. I don't know.
Well, you know what? I traveled to Salvador one time, and there we went to this place where indigo was conceived, okay, from a plant or whatever it is, and that's where all the blue jeans get their dye from. And you go to all these little places, and they have indigo in these big vats, and you get to dye your own stuff. I actually dyed a scarf and a couple of other things, you know, and they teach you how to do the tie-dye and all of that. But it's actually very, very, very exotic. I mean, so maybe that's the same thing that they have.
According to my crack research staff, just provided this media, Chefchaouen, which is a city in Morocco, it's famous for its blue hue. It's founded in 1471, but it gets its distinctive color in 1492 when an influx of Jews escaping the Spanish Inquisition brought the tradition of painting buildings blue. And that tradition says that by painting buildings blue, it's reminiscent of the sky and that God is above us.
Oh, okay, all right. So it's like a religion tone to it. Yeah. That makes sense. It makes sense. But you know what? I mean, my friend who works over there, he is very big at telling me that they are Berber. Is that
Barber? I think that's like it's a kind of culture.
Berber.
Berbers are an ethnic group concentrated in North Africa, specifically Morocco, Algeria, Tunisia, Libya, and the Canary Islands. They speak the Berber language which is a branch of the Afro-Asiatic language family. And the term Berber comes from the Greek, meaning barbarian.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
But they're so gentle, though. I mean, like when I speak to this man, he is very complimentary, very gentle, very nice, you know. And I don't know. I don't know about being barbarian at all. I think barbarian has to have another meaning, maybe just somebody that lives out in the wilderness, very open, wild. We have a tendency to think barbaric as...
I'm sure that moniker was probably put on that culture by another culture, probably maybe the Romans or the Greeks who were in conflict with them.
But anyway, that's actually what makes travel such a great thing, is because you go through these places and you learn the cultures. When I started in the business many years ago, of course, for me, it was the 5 stars and all the more stars, the better, you know, type of thing. And then after a while that you've been traveling through places, you start recognizing the fact that the attractiveness is in the people, the natural setting of the place, the flora, the fauna, the food, you know. And the accommodations are always important, definitely. But after a while, they become like secondary. I mean, I don't go to a place just to stay at the Ritz and stay there for a period of time.
Good rule of thumb actually is to stay at a cheap place, because I mean that's your room should just only be your home base. You should only do your sleeping at the room.
I know.
And if you have like a beautiful 2-room suite at the Ritz, you're just going to spend all your time in the suite. So save a little bit of money. So, stay maybe in a hostel or a small hotel, and then get out there and experience the culture.
You need to go out there and explore the surrounding areas and eat the food, treat the locals, be good to yourself. We'll be right back.
Let's talk about your credit cards. When you first start using them, it's a slow drip. You make charges, then more charges, then bills come, and they keep coming. When you open your statements, the floodgates come pouring in. You realize you have more credit card debt than you can afford, and you're barely making the minimum payments. Wouldn't it be nice to make one affordable payment and have all your credit card bills covered? Make this free call and learn our responsible way to get your credit card bills paid and under control.
Sponsored by Consumer Education Services, a nonprofit organization.
800-876-3643. 800-876-3643. 800-876-3643. That's 800-876-3643.
CESI is not a loan company. The establishment of a debt management plan may adversely affect your credit rating. Non-payment of debt may lead creditors to increase finance and other charges to undertake collection activity, including liquidation.
When you really want Italian food, you have got to get to Columbo's. Columbo's Italian Steakhouse and Jazz Club, Colorado Boulevard, Eagle Rock. It's that little neighborhood place you wish was down the street from you. Citizens, no need now to clamor for culinary gustatorial delights. Dreams do come true. Columbo's has triumphantly reopened its golden doors to feed the famished and soothe the savage beast. Bask in the delights of Columbo's succulent steaks, Neptune's superior offerings from the seven seas, Columbo's family Italian specialties, and of course their world-famous meatballs, and it's all so affordable. Yes, Columbo's, the ninth wonder of the world, the Southern California pantheon dedicated to unrivaled and unparalleled yum yum. Columbo's, that little neighborhood place you wish was down the street from you. Columbo's, mangia bene.
It's been tough talking to my doctor about constipation with belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. I finally laid all my symptoms out there and how they keep coming back. She said I may have irritable bowel syndrome with constipation, or IBS-C. We agreed it's time to try something different.
Linzess, or linaclotide, is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. Linzess works differently than laxatives. It lets you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually. Do not give Linzess to children less than 6, and it should not be given to children 6 to less than 18. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. There could be more to your story with IBS-C. Visit a doctor in person or online. Say yes to Linzess. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS. Sponsored by AbbVie and Ironwood Pharmaceuticals.
All right, we are back, and man, time just rolls, and we had a lot of fun. Sorry. Next week, I'm not going to be here. It's Daddy's Day, and I've been threatened with bodily harm by my daughters if I miss what they have planned for me. So, do you have plans with your dad too? And
it's still up in the air. He's actually traveling right now, and he's not sure when his return date will be. And so hopefully he will be back on Father's Day. If not, we will celebrate later in the week.
Sounds good to me. On the 27th of this month, for you that follow the entertainment business, I'm going to have a very, very great guest by the name of Mark Cashman. He's already confirmed, and that's it. It's ready to go. And he is without a doubt, the master of voiceover training. So if any of you are out there that want to be part of the voiceover acting game, you cannot do any better than to listen to the show on the 27th. So what can I say? Travel is back in the groove. There's a lot of destinations that are fully open right now. I guess we are going open the 15th.
Yeah, allegedly. I guess that's different city to city. But even, just tangentially, you go out and you see more people are starting to eat in restaurants. You're seeing more people out shopping, and it seems like we're getting really, really close to being back to normal.
Yeah, it's really funny because, you go to a restaurant and you put the mask on to go from here to the table, take it off, all over, go to the bathroom, all over. Then you come back, put the mask on and go outside. take it off at the car. So anyway, it's time. It's time to get back to reality. It's time to get back to normal. And listen, we have to really start thinking a little bit more love and happiness and less hate and more hate. Okay, so with that in mind, what can I say, Michael? Last words.
I mean, speaking of travel, and I noticed a lot of people are starting. I mean, a lot of people over the pandemic, we were all locked away. We couldn't travel. We couldn't eat in restaurants, and so a lot of people have a lot of surplus cash lying around right now.
Mm-hmm.
And rather than spending that money, putting it in the bank or going out there and investing in Bitcoin or whatnot, go out there and spend that money in businesses that really need it. Businesses like restaurants, businesses like hotels, like movie theaters, like bowling alleys. Really that's a really good, I think, act of public consciousness and citizenship is to, we need to get those service economies who have been hit so hard, and we're oftentimes still open. I mean, there's restaurants that were still open. I remember like a couple months ago, I was in a barbecue restaurant over here in the Valley, and they had no customers, but still people were there to take takeout orders, and so those businesses have really been affected hard, and so go out there and use your money, use those dollars that you've accumulated over the pandemic to really get those businesses back on track, and I think that will be good for the economy and for the country at large.
Yep. One other thing that I've noticed though is our business depends on advertising. I mean, it's a fact. And I talked to a lot of people about, putting spots on air and the whole thing. And everybody's very much into the yes, you're right. We need to. But there's a certain amount of fear about letting go, about opening. Do you get that?
Yeah. I mean, because, I know a lot of people are concerned about staffing back up and getting the supply chains back together because they're not sure what kind of return they're going to get on their investment and especially with advertising too. I mean, that's not like really a tangible thing. Like it's not like you exchange cash for goods and service. You get something in your hand, and you kind of have to have faith when you're doing the advertising thing. So it's tough.
Yeah, I think you said it right. Faith is what is going to make this thing move forward. So with that in mind, see you in a couple of 2 Sundays, I guess. For all the fathers and daddies out there all around the world, happy Father's Day next week. Bye-bye.